Chapter 11. Friday Prayer. Chapter 1. The prescription of Jumu'ah prayer and khutbah. Narrated Abu Hurairah. I heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, "We Muslims are the last to come, but will be the foremost on the day of resurrection." Though the former nations were given the holy scriptures before us, and this was their Friday, the celebration of which was made compulsory for them, but they differed about it. So Allah gave us the guidance for it Friday, and all the other people are behind us in this respect. The Jews' holiday is tomorrow, Saturday, and the Christians is the day after tomorrow, Sunday. Chapter 2. The superiority of taking a bath on Friday. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "Any one of you attending the Friday prayers should take a bath." Narrated Ibn Umar. While Umar bin al-Khattab was standing and delivering the sermon on a Friday, one of the companions of the Prophet, who was one of the foremost muhajirs, emigrants, came. Umar said to him, "What is the time now?" He replied, "Was busy and could not go back to my house till I heard the adhan. I did not perform more than the ablution." Thereupon Umar said to him, "Did you perform only the ablution, although you know that Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, used to order us to take a bath on Fridays?" Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "The taking of a bath on Friday is compulsory for every male Muslim who has attained the age of puberty." Chapter 3. To perfume before going for the Friday prayer. Narrated Abu Sa'id. I testify that Allah's Messenger said, "The taking of a bath on Friday is compulsory for every male Muslim who has attained the age of puberty, and also the cleaning of his teeth with siwak, and the using of perfume if it is available." Amr, a subnarrated said, "I confirm that the taking of a bath is compulsory, but as for the siwak and the using of perfume, Allah knows better whether it is obligatory or not, but according to the hadith, it is as above." Chapter 4. The superiority of Jumu'ah prayer and khutbah. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "Any person who takes a bath on Friday, like the bath of Janaba, and then goes for the prayer in the first hour, early, it is as if he had sacrificed a camel in Allah's cause, and whoever goes in the second hour, it is as if he had sacrificed a cow, and whoever goes in the third hour, then it is as if he had sacrificed a horned ram. And if one goes in the fourth hour, then it is as if he had sacrificed a hen, and whoever goes in the fifth hour, then it is as if he had offered an egg. When the Imam comes out, he starts delivering the khutbah. The angels present themselves to listen to the khutbah." Chapter 5. Narrated Abu Hurairah. While Umar bin al-Khattab was delivering the khutbah on a Friday, a man entered the mosque. Umar asked him, "What has detained you from the prayer?" The man said, "It was only that when I heard the adhan, I performed ablution for the prayer." On that, Umar said, "Did you not hear the Prophet saying, 'Any one of you going out for the Jumu'ah prayer should take a bath'?" Chapter 6. To use hair oil for the Friday prayer. Narrated Salman al-Farsi. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever takes a bath on Friday purifies himself as much as he can, then uses his hair oil or perfumes himself with the scent of his house, then proceeds for the Jummah prayer, and does not separate two persons sitting together in the mosque, then prays as much as Allah has written for him, and then remains silent while the Imam is delivering the khutbah. His sins in between the present and the last Friday will be forgiven." Narrated Tawus. I said to Ibn Abbas, "The people are narrating that the Prophet said, 'Take a bath on Friday and wash your heads, take a thorough bath, even though you were not junub, and use perfume.' On that, Ibn Abbas replied, 'I know about the bath, it is essential, but I do not know about the perfume, whether it is essential or not.'" Narrated Tawus. Ibn Abbas mentioned the statement of the Prophet regarding the taking of a bath on Friday, and then I asked him whether the Prophet, peace be upon him, had ordered perfume or hair oil to be used if they could be found in one's house. He, Ibn Abbas, replied that he did not know about it. Chapter 7. To wear the best clothes for the Jummah prayer. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Umar bin al-Khattab saw a silken cloak being sold at the gate of the mosque and said to Allah's Apostle, "I wish you would buy this to wear on Fridays and also on occasions of the arrivals of the delegations." Allah's Messenger replied, "This will be worn by a person who will have no share reward in the hereafter." Later on, similar cloaks were given to Allah's Messenger, and he gave one of them to Umar bin al-Khattab. On that, Umar said, "O Allah's Messenger, you have given me this cloak, although on the cloak of Atarid, a cloak merchant who was selling that silken cloak at the gate of the mosque, you passed such and such a remark." Allah's Messenger replied, "I have not given you this to wear," and so Umar bin al-Khattab gave it to his pagan brother in Mecca to wear. Chapter 8. To clean the teeth with Sivak on Friday. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's Messenger said, "If I had not found it hard for my followers or the people, I would have ordered them to clean their teeth with Sivak for every prayer." Narrated Anas. Allah's Messenger said, "I have told you repeatedly to use the Sivak. The Prophet put emphasis on the use of the Sivak." Narrated Hudayfa. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, got up at night for the night prayer, he used to clean his mouth. Chapter 9. Whoever cleans his teeth with Sivak. Narrated Aisha. Abdurrahman bin Abi Bakr came holding a Sivak, with which he was cleaning his teeth. Allah's Apostle looked at him. I requested Abdurrahman to give the Sivak to me, and after he gave it to me, I divided it. I chewed it, and gave it to Allah's Messenger. Then he cleaned his teeth with it, and at that time he was resting against my chest. Chapter 10. What should be recited in the Fajr prayer on Friday. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet used to recite the following in the Fajr prayer of Friday: Alif, Lam, Mim, Tansil, Suratas, Sajda, hashtag 32, and Halata ala Insani ya Surah Adadar, hashtag 76. Chapter 11. To offer Jumu'ah prayer and khutbah in villages and towns. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The first Jumu'ah prayer, which was offered after a Jumu'ah prayer, offered at the mosque of Allah's Apostle, took place in the mosque of the tribe of Abdul Qais at Jawati in Bahrain. Narrated Ibn Umar. I heard Allah's Messenger say, "All of you are guardians." Yunus said, Rusaik bin Hukaym wrote to Ibn Shihab, while I was with him at the Wadi al-Qura, saying, "Shall I lead the Jumu'ah prayer?" Rusaik was working on the land farming, and there was a group of Sudanese people and some others with him. Rusaik was then the governor of Ayla. Ibn Shihab wrote to Rusaik, ordering him to lead the Jumu'ah prayer and telling him that Salim told him that Abdullah bin Umar had said, "I heard Allah's Apostle saying, all of you are guardians and responsible for your wards and the things under your care. The Imam, ruler, is the guardian of his subjects and is responsible for them, and a man is the guardian of his family and is responsible for them. A woman is the guardian of her husband's house and is responsible for it. A servant is the guardian of his master's belongings and is responsible for them." I thought that he also said, "A man is the guardian of his father's property and is responsible for it. All of you are guardians and responsible for your wards and the things under your care." Chapter 12. Is the bath necessary for those who do not present themselves for the Jumu'ah prayer? Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's Messenger saying, "Any one of you coming for the Jumu'ah prayer should take a bath." Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's Messenger said, "The taking of a bath on Friday is compulsory for every Muslim who has attained the age of puberty." Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, "We are the last to come amongst the nations, but will be the foremost on the day of resurrection. They were given the Holy Scripture before us, and we were given the Quran after them. And this was the day Friday, about which they differed, and Allah gave us the guidance for that. So tomorrow, Saturday, is the Jews' days, and the day after tomorrow, Sunday, is the Christians." The Prophet, peace be upon him, remained silent for a while, and then said, "It is obligatory for every Muslim that he should take a bath once in 7 days, when he should wash his head and body." Narrated Abu Huraira through different narrators that the Prophet said, "It is Allah's right on every Muslim that he should take a bath at least once in 7 days." Chapter 13. Narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Allow women to go to the mosques at night." Narrated Ibn Umar. One of the wives of Umar bin al-Khattab used to offer the Fajr and the Isha prayer in congregation in the mosque. She was asked why she had come out for a prayer, as she knew that Umar disliked it, and he has great gaira, self-respect. She replied, "What prevents him from stopping me from this act?" The other replied, "The statement of Allah's Messenger, 'Do not stop Allah's women slaves from going to Allah's mosques,' prevents him." Chapter 14. Not to attend the Jumu'ah prayer if it is raining. Narrated Muhammad bin Sirin. On a rainy day, Ibn Abbas said to his muaddin, after saying, "Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah," I testify that Muhammad is Allah's messenger. Do not say, Hayya Allah's Salat, come for a prayer, but say, pray in your houses. The man did so, but the people disliked it. Ibn Abbas said, it was done by one who was much better than I, yet the Prophet, peace be upon him. No doubt, the Jummah prayer is compulsory, but I dislike to put you to task by bringing you out walking in mud and slush. Chapter 15. For whom is the Jummah prayer compulsory? Narrated Aisha, the wife of the Prophet. The people used to come from their abodes, and from Al-Awali, outskirts of Medina, up to a distance of 4 miles or more from Medina. They used to pass through dust, and used to be drenched with sweat and covered with dust, so sweat used to trickle from them. One of them came to Allah's messenger, who was in my house. The Prophet said to him, I wish that you keep yourself clean on this day of yours, yet take a bath. Chapter 16. The time for the Jummah prayer. Narrated Yahya bin Sa'id. I asked Amra about taking a bath on Fridays. She replied, Aisha said, the people used to work for their livelihood, and whenever they went for the Jummah prayer, they used to go to the mosque in the same shape as they had been in work, so they were asked to take a bath on Friday. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet used to offer the Jummah prayer immediately after midday. Narrated Anas bin Malik. We used to offer the Jummah prayer early and then have an afternoon nap. Chapter 17. If it becomes very hot on Fridays. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet used to offer the prayer earlier if it was very cold, and if it was very hot, he used to delay the prayer, the Jummah prayer. Chapter 18. To go walking unhurriedly. Narrated Abu Abs. I heard the Prophet saying, anyone whose feet are covered with dust in Allah's cause shall be saved by Allah from the hellfire. Narrated Abu Huraira. Heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, if the prayer is started, do not run for it, but just walk for it calmly and pray whatever you get, and complete whatever is missed. Narrated Abdullah bin Abi Qatada on the authority of his father. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, do not stand up for a prayer, unless you see me and observe calmness and solemnity. Chapter 19. One should not separate 2 persons on Fridays. Narrated Salman al-Farsi. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, anyone who takes a bath on Friday and cleans himself as much as he can and puts oil on his hair or scents himself, and then proceeds for a prayer and does not force his way between 2 persons assembled in the mosque for a Friday prayer, and prays as much as is written for him, and remains quiet when the Imam delivers the khutbah, all his sins in between the present and the last Friday will be forgiven. Chapter 20. A man should not make his brother get up to sit in his place. Narrated Ibn Jurayj. I heard Nasi saying, Ibn Umar said, the Prophet forbade that a man should make another man to get up to sit in his place. I said to Nafi, is it for Jummah prayer only? He replied, for Jummah prayer and any other prayer. Chapter 21. Adhan on Friday for the Jummah prayer. Narrated As-Sa'ib bin Yazid. In the lifetime of the Prophet, Abu Bakr and Umar, the Adhan for the Jummah prayer used to be pronounced when the Imam sat on the pulpit, But during the Caliphate of Uthman, when the Muslims increased in number, a third Adhan at As-Savra was added. Abu Abdullah said, As-Savra is a place in the market of Medina. Chapter 22. One Muaddin on Friday. Narrated As-Sa'ib bin Yazid. The person who increased the number of adhans for the Jummah prayers to 3 was Uthman bin Affan. And it was when the number of the Muslim people of Medina had increased. In the lifetime of the Prophet, there was only one Muaddin, and the Adhan used to be pronounced only after the Imam had taken his seat, on the pulpit. Chapter 23. The Imam repeats the wordings of the Adhan when he hears it. Narrated Abu Umama bin Sal bin Hunayf. I heard Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan repeating the statements of the Adhan while he was sitting on the pulpit. When the Muaddin pronounced the Adhan, saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Muawiyah said Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And when the Muaddin said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, I testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, Muawiyah said, and so do I, when he said, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, I testify that Muhammad is Allah's apostle. Muawiyah said, and so do I, when the Adhan was finished. Muawiyah said, O people, when the Muaddin pronounced the Adhan, I heard Allah's messenger on this very pulpit saying, what you have just heard me saying. Chapter 24. To sit on the pulpit while Adhan is pronounced. Narrated As-Sa'ib bin Yazid. Uthman bin Affan introduced the second Adhan on Fridays when the number of the people in the mosque increased. Previously, the Adhan on Fridays used to be pronounced only after the Imam had taken his seat on the pulpit. Chapter 25. Adhan before delivering the khutbah. Narrated As-Suri. I heard As-Sa'ib bin Yazid saying, in the lifetime of Allah's Messenger and Abu Bakr and Umar, the Adhan for the Jummah prayer used to be pronounced after the Imam had taken his seat on the pulpit. But when the people increased in number during the Caliphate of Uthman, he introduced a third Adhan on Friday for the Jummah prayer, and it was pronounced at As-Savra, and that new state of affairs remained so in succeeding years. Chapter 26. To deliver the khutbah on the pulpit. Narrated Abu Hasim bin Dinar. Some people went to Sal bin Sa'd as-Sa'idi and told him that they had different opinions regarding the wood of the pulpit. They asked him about it, and he said, by Allah, I know of what wood the pulpit was made. And no doubt, I saw it on the very first day when Allah's Messenger took his seat on it. Allah's Messenger sent for such and such an Ansari woman, and Saul mentioned her name, and said to her, order your slave carpenter to prepare for me some pieces of wood, a pulpit, on which I may sit at the time of addressing the people. So she ordered her slave carpenter, and he made it from the tamarisk of the forest, and brought it to the woman. The woman sent that pulpit to Allah's Messenger, who ordered it to be placed here. Then I saw Allah's Messenger praying on it, and then bowed on it. Then he stepped back, got down and prostrated on the ground near the foot of the pulpit, and again ascended the pulpit. After finishing the prayer, he faced the people and said, I have done this so that you may follow me and learn the way I pray. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet used to stand by a stem of a date palm tree while delivering a sermon. When the pulpit was placed for him, we heard that stem crying like a pregnant she-camel, till the Prophet got down from the pulpit and placed his hand over it. Narrated Salim. My father said, I heard a Prophet delivering the khutbah on the pulpit, and he said, whoever comes for the Jummah prayer should take a bath before coming. Chapter 27. To deliver the khutbah while standing. Narrated Ibn Umar. This Prophet, peace be upon him, used to deliver the khutbah while standing, and then he would sit, then stand again as you do nowadays. Chapter 28. The facing of the Imam towards the people. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. One day the Prophet sat on the pulpit and we sat around him. Chapter 29. Saying Amma Ba'du in the khutbah. Narrated Fatima bint al-Mundir. Asma bint Abi Bakr as-Siddiq said, I went to Aisha and the people were offering salat. I asked her, what is wrong with the people? She pointed towards the sky with her head. I asked her, is there a sign? Aisha nodded with her head, meaning yes. Asma added, Allah's Messenger prolonged the salat to such an extent that I fainted. There was a water skin by my side, and I opened it and poured some water on my head. When Allah's Messenger finished salat and the solar eclipse had cleared, the Prophet addressed the people and praised Allah as he deserves and said, Amma Badu. Asma further said, some Ansari women started talking, so I turned to them in order to make them quiet. I asked Aisha what the Prophet had said. Aisha said, he said, I've seen things at this place of mine which were never shown to me before. I have seen even paradise and hell, and no doubt it has been revealed to me that you people will be put in trial in your graves, like or nearly like the trial of Masih ad-Dajjal. The angels will come to every one of you and ask him, what do you know about this man, Prophet Muhammad? ? The faithful believer or firm believer Hisham was in doubt which word the Prophet used. We'll say, he is Allah's Messenger and he is Muhammad who came to us with clear evidences and guidance, so we believed him, accepted his teachings and followed and trusted his teaching. Then the angels will tell him to sleep in peace, as they have come to know that he was a believer. But a hypocrite or a doubtful person, Hisham is not sure as to which word the Prophet used, will be asked what he knew about this man, Prophet Muhammad. He will say, I do not know, but I heard the people saying something about him, so I said the same. Hisham added, Fatima told me that she remembered the narration completely by heart, except that she said about the hypocrite or a doubtful person that he will be punished severely. Narrated Ahmed bin Taghlib. Some property or something was brought to Allah's Messenger, and he distributed it. He gave to some men and ignored the others. Later he got the news of his being admonished by those whom he had ignored, so he glorified and praised Allah and said, Amma Badu, by Allah, I may give to a man and ignore another, although the one whom I ignore is more beloved to me than the one whom I give. But I give to some people as I feel that they have no patience and no contentment in their hearts, and I leave those who are patient and self-content with the goodness and wealth which Allah has put into their hearts. And Amr bin Taghlib is one of them. Amr added, By Allah, those words of Allah's apostle are more beloved to me than the best red camels. Narrated Aisha. Once in the middle of the night, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, went out and prayed in the mosque, and some men prayed with him. The next morning, the people spoke about it, and so more people gathered and prayed with him in the second night. They circulated the news in the morning, and so on the third night, the number of people increased greatly. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, came out and they prayed behind him. On the fourth night, the mosque was overwhelmed by the people, till it could not accommodate them. Allah's Messenger came out and only for the Fajr prayer, and when he finished the prayer, he faced the people and recited Tashahhud. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that Muhammad is his apostle. And then said, Amma Badu, verily your presence in the mosque at night was not hidden from me, but I was afraid that this prayer of Tahajjud might be made compulsory, and you might not be able to carry it out. Narrated Abu Humayd as-Sa'idi. One night, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, stood up after the prayer and recited Tashahhud, and then praised Allah as he deserved and said, Amma Badu. Narrated Al-Miswar bin Makrama. Once Allah's Messenger got up for delivering the khutbah, and I heard him after Tashahhud saying Amma Badu. Narrated Ibn Abbas. Once the Prophet ascended the pulpit, and it was the last gathering in which he took part. He was covering his shoulder with a big cloak and binding his head with an oily bandage. He glorified and praised Allah and said, O people, come to me. So the people came and gathered around him, and he then said, Amma Badu, from now onward the Ansar will decrease and other people will increase. So anybody who becomes a ruler of the followers of Muhammad and has the power to harm or benefit people, then he should accept the good from the benevolent amongst them, Ansar, and overlook the faults of the wrongdoers. Chapter 30. To sit in between the two khutbah. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. The Prophet used to deliver two khutbahs and sit in between them. Chapter 31. To listen to the khutbah, religious talk on Friday. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, When it is a Friday, the angels stand at the gate of the mosque and keep on writing the names of the persons coming in the mosque in succession according to their arrivals. The example of the one who enters the mosque in the earliest hour is that of one offering a camel in sacrifice. The one coming next is like one offering a cow, and then a ram, and then a chicken, and then an egg, respectfully. When the Imam comes out for Jummah prayer, they, angels, fold their papers and listen to the khutbah. Chapter 32. During the khutbah, 2 rakat salat before sitting, Tahayyat ul-Majid. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. A person entered the mosque while the Prophet was delivering the khutbah on a Friday. The Prophet said to him, Have you prayed? The man replied in the negative. The Prophet said, Get up and pray 2 rakat. Chapter 33. When the Imam is delivering the khutbah, a light 2 rakat salat prayer, Tahayyat ul-Majid. Narrated Jabir. A man entered the mosque while the Prophet was delivering the khutbah. The Prophet said to him, "Have you prayed?" The man replied in the negative. The Prophet said, "Pray 2 rakat." Chapter 34. To raise hands during the khutbah, religious talk. Narrated Anas. While the Prophet was delivering the khutbah on a Friday, a man stood up and said, "O Allah's Apostle, the livestock and the sheep are dying, so pray to Allah for rain." So he, the Prophet, raised both his hands and invoked Allah for it. Chapter 35. Istisqa on the khutbah on Friday. Narrated Anas bin Malik. Once in the lifetime of the Prophet, peace be upon him, the people were afflicted with drought, famine. While the Prophet was delivering the khutbah on a Friday, a Bedouin stood up and said, "O Allah's Messenger, our possessions are being destroyed and their children are hungry. Please invoke Allah for rain." So the Prophet raised his hands, and at that time there was not a trace of a cloud in the sky. By him in whose hands my soul is, as soon as he lowered his hands, clouds gathered like mountains, and before he got down from the pulpit, I saw the rain falling on the beard of the Prophet. It rained that day, the next day, the third day, the fourth day, till the next Friday. The same Bedouin or another man stood up and said, "O Allah's Messenger, the houses have collapsed, our possessions and livestock have been drowned. Please invoke Allah to protect us." So the Prophet raised both his hands and said, "O Allah, round about us and not on us." So in whatever direction he pointed with his hands, the clouds dispersed and cleared away, and Medina's sky became clear as a hole in between the clouds. The valley of Qanat remained flooded for 1 month. None came from outside but talked about the abundant rain. Chapter 36. One should keep quiet and listen while the Imam is delivering the khutbah. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "When the Imam is delivering the khutbah, and you ask your companion to keep quiet and listen, then no doubt you have done an evil act." Chapter 37. An hour opportune lucky time on Friday. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, talked about Friday and said, "There is an hour opportune time on Friday, and if a Muslim gets it while praying and asks something from Allah, then Allah will definitely meet his demand." And he, the Prophet, pointed out the shortness of that time with his hands. Chapter 38. If some people leave while the Imam during the Salat ul-Jumu'ah. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. While we were praying Jumu'ah, khutbah and prayer with the Prophet, peace be upon him, some camels loaded with food arrived from Sham. The people diverted their attention towards the camels and left the mosque, and only 12 persons remained with the Prophet. So this verse was revealed. But when they see some bargain or some amusement, they dispersed headlong to it, and leave you standing. 62:11. Chapter 39. To offer salat before and after the Jumu'ah prayer. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger used to pray 2 rakat before the Sur prayer and 2 rakat after it. He also used to pray 2 rakat after the Maghrib prayer in his house and 2 rakat after the Isha prayer. He never prayed after Jumu'ah prayer till he departed from the mosque, and then he would pray 2 rakat at home. Chapter 40. When the salat is ended, you may disperse through the land and seek of the bounty of Allah. Narrated Sal bin Sa'd. There was a woman amongst us who had a farm, and she used to sow silk, a kind of vegetable, on the edges of streams in her farm. On Fridays she used to pull out the silk from its roots and put the roots in a utensil. Then she would put a handful of powdered barley over it and cook it. The roots of the silk were a substitute for meat. And after finishing the Juma prayer, we used to greet her, and she would give us that food which we would eat with our hands. And because of that meal, we used to look forward to Friday. Narrated Sal. As above, with the addition, we never had an afternoon nap nor meals except after offering the Juma prayer. Chapter 41. The afternoon nap after the Juma prayer. Narrated Anas. We used to offer the Juma prayer early and then have the afternoon nap. Narrated Sal. We used to offer the Juma prayer with the Prophet and then take the afternoon nap.